Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Heroes Reborn. So I did miss last week's episode because I had New York Comic Con and I was not able to watch on time. So I did watch that episode a couple of days ago, and now I'm ready to review this episode. So what happened in this episode? Well, last episode we get to see the big event was that Molly dies. So we have the non-Evos who are working with HRG slash Noah, who are trying to figure out what this big company is about, who is this woman that is the head of the big company, and the daughter of this woman is teaming up with HRG to figure this out. And then seeing that she's not the nicest person because she didn't really care what happened to Molly. And Molly, you know, from last episode, she went through so much that she killed herself. So obviously, again, this woman's not nice. She's not a nice woman. Other things going on. You explore a little bit more about the other heroes. You get more Nacho Libre hero, him discovering himself as a hero without powers, so you get to see more of that. I guess also discovering the world of Evos, because you get a little insight with that with him. Then you get to see Luke, Zachary Levi's character. He's, you know, looking back at his past and knowing he's gonna have to leave it. And it's sad for him, but he knows that life doesn't exist anymore. So that's his story. Then you got Katana Girl, who is also, I guess, figuring out a little bit more about her powers, but she ends up kind of meeting HRG, helping HRG out for like 2 seconds, gets the sword. That's her story. And then the most intriguing story for me, which is Tommy. He figures out that he's adopted, and that his life's a lie, and that he's going to be one of the heroes that save the world. And that's pretty much the whole episode. What did I think about this episode? Well, first of all, let me say, I really enjoyed last episode. Even though one of my favorite arcs for this season was the Molly arc, I thought it ended pretty well. And then once again, you know, HRG not getting the answers. And that leads into the negatives of this episode, is that Molly was so interesting and that HRG story was so interesting, they abruptly end it. And now we're just continuing this non-progression of mystery. It doesn't really feel like, oh, we gotta answer here, we gotta answer there. It just feels like they're holding the meat in front of us and we can't really grab it. Because every single moment when HRG tries to figure out his memories, they're like, I can't tell you, or this is not the right time, or, you know, I just died, and this just continues, and at this point it actually is making me fatigued. It doesn't really make me interested in what happened. It's not giving us any information. They're just like kind of reminding us that we don't know about it. It's like, we will know about it, but probably the last episode. And that honestly made me upset, because this is the story I'm most interested in, because that's honestly the story that's connected to the last series, which I'm more interested in than this series. Which also leads me to the ton of negatives in this episode, is that I simply just don't care about a lot of these characters. In every episode where we get character development, I still don't care about them. Like, Nacho Libre guy, I could care less about him. Katana Girl, could care less about her. So if all of these people died, I wouldn't care. And I think that's the biggest problem about Heroes Reborn, is that I'm just not invested into this new world. But the old characters, I'm still invested in. So, like, HRG's story is really good, or, you know, good enough, but we're not getting any info, and they're just holding it from us, and not in a good way either. It doesn't feel mysterious, it just feels annoying at this point. But the most interesting character for me is Tommy, but that also is that he's a shell of other characters, just like every other character on this show. But even though Tommy is kind of recycling stories from previous Heroes episodes, I'm still more intrigued with him because I think he has more character depth at least. And I think the actor is probably the best, one of the new actors, if I had to say, he's probably the best out of all of them. So he's the one that intrigues me the most. I like his friend. I think she's cool. It'd be cool if she got powers. I would like to see that. I need to see more powers in this show. But I like that she plays like the Zach in Tommy's life. But then again, you're recycling stories with the whole adoption story. But then that does open avenues like, oh, well, he's connected to someone else. I would say the Petrellis, but I don't know. Maybe I feel it can't be Peter's kid, because again, not enough time has passed. And I think it'd be interesting if like Nathan had another kid. I guess it would make sense, but also that'd be a recycled story that Nathan already had a kid, and that was Claire. But it would make HRG, I guess, more involved in Tommy's life, because hey, if he was the son of Nathan, that means he would be the brother of Claire. So I could accept that. Which reminds me, what the hell happened to Lyle? That just reminded me in my head. I'm like, you know, HRG has another kid, but really doesn't care about that kid at all. So they totally just cut that story. You know, yeah, one kid died, but yeah, Lyle, who cares? He didn't have powers. Forget you. So that's an interesting thing. I just thought about that. But overall, this episode was really slow, for the most part. Again, I just don't really care about these new characters, and I want to, but it's really hard. But at least next episode, we're going to get Hiro Nakamura, so at least we're getting, you know, our old characters back. And hopefully we get some answers. You know, there were some twists and turns with Tommy's character, but other than that, it was a pretty dull episode. But last episode I thought was a lot better. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Of course, I'll do another Heroes Reborn review next week. And this is Comic Uno. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below there are links from my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter also. And I hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.